Where the preaching is clear, concise, convicting, and quality. All right, now this week, the question we're going to be addressing on our program is the question, why do we pray? Now, I get asked this 10 or 20, sometimes 100,000 times a week. Why do we have to pray? Why do we do that? What's the point? But let me just start by saying, it's like asking, why do birds sing? Or why do firemen slide down those shiny poles? They slide down those poles because in any other context, pole sliding would be ridiculous. Even if I see a man who's not dressed like a fireman sliding down a fireman pole, probably a fireman. Same thing is true with prayer. If you see a person on the street just talking to themselves, what do you think? You think drug addict, right? That's what I think. If I walked up to that person, if that person then looked up at me and said, I was praying. Well, now, wouldn't that change everything? It's one of those things with prayer. We pray because in any other context, talking to yourself would look stupid. If you're a person who has faith, you can talk to yourself all you want, and people will accept that. One of the other reasons we pray is to send off a spiritual signal to other people. Think about it. If you're in a restaurant and you're looking around and you're trying to figure out, where are my brothers and sisters in this room? And it's hard to tell. But then, before they start to eat, you'll see them. And you see them bow their heads to pray immediately. You know, or at least I do. I know. I got a sister there. I got a brother, which is very important, particularly in the day and age we live in today where a pagan versus Christian battle could erupt. You want to know who's on your side should violence erupt. And I think it's also good to say that we pray to help him remember that we really want him to do what we're telling him to do. I have children, they're grown now, but when they were young, I took two strategies with my children. They'd say, we want this or we want that. Two things I do. The first one is sometimes I pretend like I couldn't hear them. And they'd say, Dad, did you hear us say we said we wanted those toothpicks with cellophane? And I'd say, huh, like that, and just pretend like I couldn't hear them. And then the other thing I did sometimes is I pretend like I didn't understand them. So they'd say, we want a whole pack of tennis balls. And I'd look at them and I'd say, I'm sorry, did you say that you're ready to go to bed now? And they hate that. And then, of course, eventually I'd give them the tennis ball, because as a parent, kids have to learn to be quiet. And sometimes the only way to teach them that lesson is to give them what they're asking for. The same thing is true with God. At some level, we pray because we want to remind him what we want. Sometimes he's going to say, huh, did you say you want to be a missionary? And we're going to be like, no, I want a convertible. But eventually, I believe that there is a point then where God is going to say, all right, whatever, D-Ray, here's the convertible. Just shut up. What I'm not saying here is I'm not saying that prayer is like magic. What it is that you pray verbally things, and then over here, other stuff happens. Like, for instance, when I go to the mall, one thing I use prayer for on a regular basis is to get a spot up close. It's prayer combined with patience, And in some ways, I guess you could say, it is a little bit like magic. We don't believe in magic, but we do believe in saying some words and then stuff happens, which is, if that makes it make more sense to you, then think of prayer as the equivalent of Christian magic. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. You say some stuff and some other stuff, you get a better parking spot. If you don't understand my answers or responses, what you need to do at this point is rewind the video and hit play again, I think. Thanks very much. We'll see y'all next time.